Welcome back. Meantime, police on the hunt for the gunman responsible for an overnight shooting on Broome Street that leaves a 22-year-old male of 1st Street, Coconut Grove in hospital nursing injuries. Shortly after 10:30 p.m. on Thursday night, police were alerted via its ShotSpotter technology of rapid gunshots being discharged in the area of Broome Street. When officers arrived on the scene, they met a male at a nearby business establishment suffering from gunshot injuries to the upper body. Preliminary reports revealed that the victim, while driving his Nissan Cube in the area, was approached by 2 male occupants of a burgundy Japanese vehicle. They produced firearms and discharged several shots in his direction, which resulted in him being shot in the upper body, his vehicle also receiving extensive damages. In an effort to evade the assailants, and being in fear of his life, the victim parked and exited his vehicle in the area of Peter Street and sought assistance. EMS personnel were contacted and he was transported to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he is currently listed in serious condition. Police are appealing to members of the public who may have any information as it pertains to this incident or any other criminal matter to contact them anonymously at 328-TIPS. That's 328-8477. 2 men are in police custody after they were allegedly found in possession of an unlicensed firearm and ammunition. A 38-year-old and a 25-year-old were arrested sometime around 10:30 a.m. Thursday morning. That is when officers attached to Operation Suppress were conducting saturation patrols in the area of Bahama Avenue and Lincoln Boulevard. They observed 2 males walking and acting in a suspicious manner. Subsequently, the males were stopped and searched, which resulted in the discovery of a high-powered weapon and ammunition. Police continue to ask the public to assist them in helping to take illegal weapons off the streets in an ongoing effort to reduce gun violence in the country. The government is considering the review of its stance on corporal punishment in the education system. This coming from Minister of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, Glenys Hannah Martin, following an incident where a police officer was asked to punish children at a Bimini primary school on March 10th, where one parent alleges her son was beaten so badly that he had bruises that were black and blue. Minister Hannah Martin explained that corporal punishment is allowed in school. It is allowed in school, but no third party like a police or a defense force officer is allowed to discipline the children.
My understanding is that there has been counseling support and the principal is still on leave. The status of the investigation I'm not aware of at this time, but certainly it was an incident that caused us concern and moved us to move immediately to address the status quo at that school.
She goes on to say that following this incident, it requires a broader discussion on how we treat the problems involving our children.
No one should have been called in. The way in which the protocols around corporal punishment are well established, they're documented, they're in a manual, and it does not include bringing a third party off a school campus to carry out discipline on a child. So the current policy allows for corporal punishment, but in limited circumstances and by only a select individual or 2 on the school campus.
Corporal punishment is permitted in the Bahamas on children up to the age of 16. It can only be administered by an administrator and must be administered in the presence of another administrator or teacher and never in the presence of another student or students overall.
Whether it is now appropriate to discipline or deal with young people in that way, or whether there are alternative measures which are effective in helping a young person understand the manner of his or her ways. So currently it's on the books, but I do believe the time has come for a very serious discussion. Now I know I've heard the dialogue out there, spare the rod, spoil the child, so I know that there is a body of thought that this is appropriate. But there's also a body of thought that believes that it has deep historic roots in how we see how children should be treated and people in general, and that there are other ways of getting a message through to young people and helping their formation and their maturity.
United Nations Food Agricultural Organization, FAO, Ambassador Winston Pinnock is attending the 172nd session of the FAO Council in Rome, Italy. FAO has historically assisted the government of the Bahamas on a wide range of issues, with many agencies benefiting, including the Department of Marine Resources and Agriculture, the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, Ministries of Education and Health, and the Department of Forestry. The meeting gives Ambassador Pinnock the opportunity to meet with other member states and other organizations that can assist our country achieve our goal of food security. During one of the interventions, Ambassador Pinnock sought to gain more support from the FAO for small developing countries to build capacity in development of poultry industry, the development of a national food security plan, and applications that will be used in the agriculture sector, providing pertinent information to farmers. Current FAO projects in the Bahamas include a school of feeding project and a forestry development program that is going on right now, among other projects. The Bahamas was unanimously elected to serve on the FAO's council in 2019 to represent CARICOM countries, and was recently re-elected to serve for another 3-year term. And finally, April is Autism Awareness Month, and this week students of Garventines Primary School celebrated with a special assembly in observance of the occasion. During the special assembly, Atlanta's Paradise Island announced the donation of $10,000 specifically earmarked for the complete refurbishment of a sensory room for the school's autistic unit. Head of Garventines Autism Unit, Mr. Leonel Flores, explained that for children on the autism spectrum, sensory rooms are designed to have a calming effect that reduces anxiety and improves focus. Vianna Gardner, Vice President and Public Relations Affairs Officer involved with special projects as well at the Atlantis, said their community outreach team is focused on uplifting the community and helping wherever there is a need. The school's Vice Principal, Shavanya Robinson Ferguson, said officials from Garventines Primary are thankful for any assistance they can receive that helps in the development of the students, in particular the special needs students in their care. Invited guests included parents of the special needs children, along with corporate donors like Atlantis, Price Waterhouse Coopers, and Sandals. Southern Shores Member of Parliament Leroy Major and former Prime Minister Perry Christie, whose son Adam was among the first set of autistic students enrolled at the school, were among those in attendance. The former Prime Minister promised to use his influence to raise additional funds for the school's autism unit. And that'll do it for your JCN Evening News. Once again, I'm Jcn Saunders.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.